bring it up with me about like how because
okay.
they were on our family holiday.
How generous should you be to your kids?
Yeah,
Food,
they were
money,
comparing.
inheritance?
Well, and even just like with food and like treats and spoiling and ice cream and
Okay.
it's interesting how when you're in some families, like we'll go out for dinner to somebody's house and they cut out their portions and it's like, okay, this is the amount you get, and after that, that's all there is for supper. And they may or may not get dessert, but you just don't get more food, right?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily have a strong opinion. I'm just kind of like, hey, is that normal? Like, and then in our house, it's like, oh, you just, it's gluttony, right? It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Or not gluttony, but it's just, there's definitely not, first of all, we have kids that haven't had enough food in their life. And it's like, there's all kinds of trauma around food. So we're probably going to parent even a little different than a fully biological family. And there's lots of different stuff going on there. And I think you want to be really careful around food with kids just for self-esteem issues. And I think that you want your kids eating healthy. Like that's how I feel. I just want our kids eating really healthy, but it's hard because, obviously you want to be a fun parent.
It's funny on the food thing. So like the boys know that Trey is really strong on food,
fanatic,
and like eating healthy and stuff like that. And so they'll bug me now. Like I'll have like a bun with a burger, and they'll be like, "Dad, would Trey eat a bun?"
No, he would not.
No
carbs.
He would not eat a bun.
No
and
carbs.
so I was giving him crap today because they were having waffles, and Trey's gonna stay at our house in a month.
Oh, fine.
And he's gonna come down for a couple of days, and I'm like, "Would you eat that waffle with Trey around?" And Peter's like, "No."
Yeah.
Anyways, inheritance.
Yeah. So it was just this idea of the conversation I was having with my friend was just kind of like this idea of like, hey, how do parents choose on how or does it even kind of, our relationship with God or how we view God, does it come into that, how we parent? It's like, hey, we're generous people. We're lavish with our kids. There's lots for everybody. Or are we just cheap and, hey, we, keep cling. Can we let go of stuff? Can we give stuff away? And it's just the idea of even like with Maria and I, we also talk about inheritance. It's like just the idea of like some families and you see where they just, I think we've talked about this before, but just, hey, we split it up between our kids and our kids get our inheritance. And some people take the verse in the Bible where it's like they talk about to the next generation and they're giving stuff to their grandkids, and other people just give it all the way to charity. I think there's rules against that. I've talked to my lawyer about it. And it's kind of like, sounds like legally you're not even allowed to do that.
Give it all to charity?
No. Sounds like if you had, let's say $1 million in your estate when you passed away and you gave $100,000 to your 5 kids and $900,000 to some nonprofits, it sounds like your kids could contest your will. That was what I got from the conversation with my lawyer.
I personally would try to probably give as much as I could before I died.
Yeah, but would you give it to your kids?
No.
Okay. Yeah. There again, I mean, it comes into conversation.
I would try to help my kids if they needed help.
Help.
Like, yeah. Like a grace, right? The whole point of the gospel is that we get grace undeserved. And so I have no problem.
Our kids should experience grace from their parents in their life.
Yes,
100%.
100%. Yeah.
Which is that. So that's where the conversation went that I had. It was just like that balancing act of, and this is for people that are parenting, but even as a kid, it's like you look at your parents and be like, yeah, like people need correction, and guidance is loving, and being tough on your kids at times is the most loving thing you can do. And then there's other times where exactly what you say, what does that look like? How does that grace look? And it probably looks different even for each kid. Some kids probably need way more grace than other kids, and then the kids think, oh, this isn't fair. You're favoring the kid. And of course, parents do have favorite kids, so that's a problem. But you were the favorite in your home, I've heard.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Favorite. Anyways.
Bonhoeffer? But Bonhoeffer in here. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because I listened to that.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, bringing the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.